Season 3 of Frasier definitely gets off to a strong start with She's the Boss. It's a good episode. We have some great voice cameos. Absolutely loved it. This is directed by Philip Charles MacKenzie, and there will be spoilers from now as I discuss various aspects of the episode. I'm going to go through this one chronologically, as is usually what I do. And it starts off with Eddie, and apparently he'd been attacked by some other dogs, which is not something we want to think about, but it's a nice way to start things off with some focus on Eddie. And then Frasier reveals that there's a new station manager, and it's a woman. And Martin has some not very nice comments to say. I don't think he meant to be nasty, but he says that it's difficult to take orders from a woman. Thankfully, Frasier doesn't agree with this. He's got a great remark about the fact that he took orders from Lilith, which I love. I love it whenever he mentions Lilith. It doesn't happen often enough for my liking. And then we also get the other part of the episode established very quickly. It's a very, very small part to the plot, but Niles comes over to ask to borrow Martin's gun because the home security system is down. Maris is panicking. Martin very sensibly says no. And we'll come back to Niles as part of the story in a little bit, but it definitely doesn't take up too much time at all. Pretty much all of the episode focuses on Frasier and this new boss. We get a lot of scenes down at KCL, and we're down there pretty quickly. Everybody's there. Roz, Bulldog, Gil, and Kate. This is Kate Costas, played by Mercedes Ruehl. She is the new boss of KCL, the new station manager, and she doesn't exactly get on well with Frasier. Well, that's not fair. Frasier doesn't get on well with her because he doesn't like her ideas. She suggests doing theme shows, which I thought sounded pretty decent. And also, they should screen the calls to focus more on the juicy content, which Frasier is also very much against. So, the way that Frasier is being told who is boss is by giving him the early morning slot. And cut to Frasier and Roz working at 3 o'clock in the morning. Needless to say, they're not very happy about that. They definitely look exhausted, and they have takeaway cups from Cafe Nervosa, and it's funny, but you can definitely sense how tired they are. We then go back to Frasier's apartment, and poor Eddie has a cone of shame. Obviously, he went down to the vets. Martin took him to the vet after the attack just to make sure he was okay, and Moose looks adorable. He does look so cute in his little cone of shame. Niles also comes over, and he has something called a starter's pistol. I know nothing about guns. I really don't care about gun culture, but he has this starter's pistol, and things don't exactly go according to plan because the gun goes off. But my favourite part is when Frasier, having been woken up after getting home from his night shift, stumbles out of the bedroom having heard the gunshot, and his response is just fantastic. I love Kelsey Grammer's performance in that moment in particular. Very, very funny. And then pretty much everything else is down at KACL. And I'm wondering if they got a bigger budget for season 3 because we have some fantastic voice actors in this for the callers for the radio show, including Matthew Broderick. And we also have Carrie Fisher, who plays a character called Phyllis, who has insomnia. Absolutely delighted. It's also nice to see the kind of characters who are phoning in the middle of the night. Frasier and Ralph, though, are obviously still not very happy about this. And we get a brilliant performance from both of them, from Kelsey Grammer and Peri Gilpin, when they decide to have a little fun and kind of get their own back at Kate for making them do this time slot, and they make things raunchy, and they start talking about sex, and Frasier asks the caller, "What are you wearing?" I don't think that's ethical. I don't think as a psychiatrist it's something he should have done, but certainly for a viewer, very entertaining, and their performance there was brilliant. We then get this heated argument between Frasier and Kate when Kate finds out what they've done, and they're shouting at each other, and it's very intense and very, very well done, and they don't know how they're going to get out of this predicament because neither of them wants to relent. And ultimately what they end up doing is kind of fake swapping opinions, where Frasier storms out of the room shouting that he wants to do the theme shows, and that Kate is refusing to let him do it. So Frasier actually gets to do the shows he wants to do, but it looks like it was Kate's decision. So everybody gets the best of both worlds. I'm slightly surprised they were able to come to a somewhat amicable compromise, but I'm also glad they did because everybody's happy. And then we get a wonderful little moment at the end with some great focus on Eddie, where they put him on top of the television because the reception isn't great, and his cone of shame acts as a satellite, and he's able to help the TV, and we just get a little focus on Eddie, and it's very, very cute. So definitely a strong start to season 3, a brilliant episode with some very funny moments, a couple of adorable moments with Eddie, and some really strong performances as well. I wouldn't say it's one of my all-time favourite episodes, but that being said, it is brilliant. There's nothing about it that I'd change, and I really thoroughly enjoy it.